in a lot of these conversations, we're talking about the amount of time we have for music and the amount of time we have for preaching. And in a lot of these places, they rarely ever do the Lord's Supper.
Oh, you want to get into that.
Which is something I think we're supposed to be doing every time we gather.
Okay.
We're supposed to be doing that. We're supposed to be doing that every week.
Look at this.
And so
we've got a new denomination right here with this.
We're not making room for that. And it's interesting that that's something that's just very clearly prescribed in the Scripture. Very clearly prescribed in the worship of God. And in all of these debates, I mean, we're willing to go to blows over how much time we get for music and how much time we get for preaching, and we can't remember the last time we did the Lord's Supper. That's a problem.
What verse tells you that it has to happen every single time we get together?
There's no verse that tells me that it has to happen every single time that we get together. There's no verse that tells me we have to sing every single time we get together.
Right.
There's no verse that tells me we have to get baptized every time that we get together. But when I start looking at the Scriptures about what are the elements of worship, it's very clear that that is one of the elements of worship. So if we're getting together for worship and that's one of the elements of worship, let's do it.
But see, in our era, though, the natural tendency in evangelicalism is to the normative principle.
Absolutely.
That sounded very legalistic to some people.
I know.
All right, so I want to get this clear. We read the Bible, we see the elements that have been contained that God is pleased with.
Yes.
Why would we not want to include those elements in our gathering?
Yes.
So every week, Lord's Supper. If a church isn't doing that, are they sinning?
Yes.
Well then, think it over, and we'll continue.
No. I knew you were going to ask me that. That's all. I just wanted to see that look on your face. That's all.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is